The door slammed shut behind me as I stormed into the house, my heart pounding from the argument with my boyfriend. No, ex-boyfriend now. But there she was, Grace, my dad's old college buddy, sitting on the couch with a glass of wine, her eyes locking onto mine in a way that sent a shiver down my spine, not of fear, but something deeper, unspoken. In that split second, I knew everything was about to change, because the look wasn't just friendly, it was raw, vulnerable, like she'd been waiting for this moment her whole life. I froze in the entryway, my backpack slipping from my shoulder. Grace quickly averted her gaze, pretending to focus on the TV, but it was too late. I'd seen it. The flicker of longing, the subtle parting of her lips as if she wanted to say something but couldn't. Dad was in the kitchen, rummaging through the fridge, oblivious as always. "Gracie, that you? Dinner's almost ready," he called out, his voice muffled by the clinking of bottles. I mumbled a response and headed upstairs, my mind racing. Why did her stare feel so intense? Grace had been around since I was a kid, popping in for holidays or when Dad needed a sounding board after Mom left us years ago. She was like an aunt, successful, poised, always in tailored suits from her law firm job. But tonight something shifted. Was I imagining it? No, I thought, replaying the moment in my head as I collapsed onto my bed. Her eyes had traced my face, lingered on my lips. It wasn't maternal. It was intimate. That night sleep evaded me. I tossed and turned, my thoughts swirling around Grace. She was 42, divorced, no kids, and Dad always joked she was married to her career. But there were whispers I'd overheard as a teen, rumors from family gatherings about her lifestyle choices back in college, before she straightened out, as they put it. Straightened out? What did that even mean? I grabbed my phone, scrolling through old photos. There she was, in a group shot from Dad's reunion last year, her arm casually around my shoulder. I zoomed in on her face, strong jawline, piercing blue eyes, short auburn hair that framed her features perfectly. My stomach twisted. Why was I noticing this now? At 25, fresh out of grad school, I was supposed to be figuring out my life, not questioning glances from my dad's friend. The next morning, I avoided the kitchen where Dad and Grace were chatting over coffee. She was staying for the weekend, helping him with some legal paperwork for his business. I slipped out early for my part-time job at the bookstore, but her image haunted me. During lulls between customers, I found myself Googling subtle signs of attraction, my cheeks burning as I read. Was it possible? No, Gracie, get a grip, I scolded myself inwardly. She's straight, or at least that's what everyone assumes. But doubt crept in. What if she wasn't? What if I wasn't? I'd dated guys, sure, but nothing ever stuck. There was always this emptiness, like I was performing a role. By evening I couldn't shake it. Dad suggested we all go out for pizza, his way of keeping things normal. Grace drove and I ended up in the passenger seat. The radio played softly, some old rock tune Dad loved. She glanced at me at a red light. "Everything okay, Gracie? You seem quiet." Her voice was smooth, concerned. I nodded, but inside turmoil brewed. Why did her proximity make my pulse quicken? We arrived at the restaurant, and as we waited for our table, Dad excused himself to the restroom. Alone with her, the air thickened. "I saw how you looked at me last night," I blurted out, my voice barely above a whisper. Grace's face paled. "What do you mean?" she asked, but her eyes betrayed her guilt, fear. Before I could press, Dad returned and the moment shattered. That conversation lingered like a storm cloud. Over pizza, Dad reminisced about their college days, laughing about pranks and parties. Grace joined in, but her laughs were forced. I watched her, piecing together fragments. Later, back home as Dad dozed in front of the TV, I cornered her in the kitchen. "Tell me the truth," I demanded softly. She sighed, leaning against the counter. "Gracie, it's complicated. Your dad. He doesn't know everything about me." My heart raced. "Like what?" She hesitated, then whispered. "I was in love once with a woman. In college. But I hid it for my family, for my future." The revelation hit like a punch. So the rumors were true. But why tell me now? "And last night," I pushed. She looked away. "I see so much of myself in you." It's confusing. Confusion didn't begin to cover it. That night, alone in my room, I confronted my own feelings. Was this why relationships with men felt hollow? Had I been denying something fundamental about myself? The thought terrified me. Dad was conservative, raised in a small-town church every Sunday. If he found out about Grace's past, or worse, if something developed between us, it could destroy everything. But the pull was undeniable. The next day, Grace suggested a walk in the park, just us. Dad encouraged it, thinking it was harmless bonding. As we strolled under the oaks, she opened up more. I married my ex-husband to fit in, she confessed. It was a mistake. I hurt him, hurt myself. Her voice cracked. Don't make the same choices, Gracie. Live authentically. Her words resonated, stirring something deep. But authenticity came with a price. What if it cost me my family? The walk turned intimate, our hands brushing accidentally. Or was it? I felt alive, seen in a way no one else had made me feel. Back home, Dad noticed nothing, but I was unraveling. That evening, as Grace prepared to leave, she pulled me aside. If you ever need to talk, she said, slipping me her number. I nodded, my mind a whirlwind. Driving away, she glanced back, and that look returned, hopeful yearning. I knew then I was on the brink of something dangerous, something that could upend my world. Weeks passed, but Grace's confession echoed in my thoughts like a relentless drumbeat. I threw myself into work, shelving books and recommending reads to distract from the chaos inside. Yet, every quiet moment brought her back, her vulnerability, her warning. Don't make the same mistakes. But what if pursuing truth meant betrayal? Dad had always been my rock, especially after Mom's abandonment. He deserved loyalty, not scandal. Still, I texted Grace late one night. Can we meet? Need to talk. Her reply was immediate. Of course. Coffee tomorrow. We met at a small cafe in downtown Seattle, away from Dad's prying eyes. She looked elegant as ever, in a crisp blouse and jeans, but her eyes held shadows. What's on your mind? She asked, stirring her latte. I hesitated, then poured it out, the confusion, the attraction I'd felt since that stare. I think I might be like you, I admitted, my voice trembling. Grace's expression softened. It's okay to explore that, Gracie. But be careful. Society isn't as accepting as it pretends. We talked for hours, sharing stories. She revealed more about her college love, a woman named Elena, how their relationship crumbled under family pressure. My parents threatened to cut me off, she said bitterly. I chose security over happiness. Regret it every day. As we left, our hug lingered too long, her scent, lavender and something uniquely her, imprinting on me. Driving home, guilt gnawed. Was this wrong? She was Dad's friend, twice my age almost. But age felt irrelevant, it was the connection, the understanding. That night, Dad asked about my day. Just coffee with a friend. I lied, hating myself. Lies bred more lies, I knew, but truth seemed riskier. Our meetings became regular, lunches, walks, always platonic on the surface, but charged underneath. Grace shared books on queer history, helping me navigate my identity. You're not alone, she'd say, her hand on mine briefly. Each touch ignited sparks. One afternoon, in her apartment overlooking the city, she played old records from her youth. We danced slowly, laughing at first, then seriously. This feels right, I whispered. She pulled back. Gracie, we can't. You're Dad. But her eyes said otherwise. The conflict tore at me. Internally, I debated, follow my heart or protect the status quo. Dad started noticing my distractions. You seem distant, kiddo. Everything all right? I'd nod, but suspicion grew. Then disaster struck. I left my phone out and a text from Grace popped up. Missed you today. Thinking of our dance. Dad saw it. His face hardened. What's going on with you and Grace? He demanded. I stammered, denying everything. Just friends, Dad. But he wasn't convinced. She's too old for you to be hanging out like this. And there are things about her you don't know. He confronted me later, revealing what he knew. In college, Grace was involved with a girl. I covered for her, helped her hide it. Thought she'd moved on. His tone dripped disapproval. If you're going down that path, Gracie, think about what it means for us. For the family. The word stung. Family meant everything to him, to me. But was suppressing who I am worth it? That night I cried, torn between love and duty. Grace called, worried. Your dad suspects? I confirmed. We have to stop. she said, voice breaking. But I couldn't. No. I need you. The line went silent then. Meet me tomorrow. We talked this through. The meeting was tense, in a park bench under gray skies. This could ruin everything, she warned. Your relationship with your dad, my friendship with him. I argued back. But hiding ruins us more. We parted unresolved, but her kiss on my cheek lingered, a promise of more. Pressure mounted. Dad invited Grace over for dinner, ostensibly casual, but I sensed an interrogation. Over roast chicken he probed. You two seem close lately. Grace deflected smoothly. Just mentoring her, Tom. But under the table her foot brushed mine, a secret alliance. After in the hallway she whispered, I can't stay away. My resolve strengthened, but so did the fear. Internally I wrestled with ethics. Was pursuing this a betrayal? Grace had her own demons. Her ex-husband still in the picture via shared friends. Reminders of her normal life. I gave up so much, she'd say in our private moments. Don't let me drag you down. But I was already falling. One evening alone in her place we shared our first real kiss, soft, tentative, world-shifting. No more denying. But joy was fleeting. Guilt crashed in. What have I done? Dad's suspicions escalated. He started checking my phone, questioning my whereabouts. I won't have this under my roof, he muttered once, though unsaid. The tension built, a powder keg waiting to explode. The explosion came sooner than expected. Dad found an email I'd left open. Nothing explicit, just Grace suggesting a weekend getaway, to clear our heads. He confronted me in the living room, face red with anger. This stops now, Gracie. Grace is using you, confusing you. I defended hers. It's not like that, Dad. I care about her. The admission hung heavy. He stared, disbelieving. You're gay? Since when? Tears welled. Always, I think. But Grace helped me see it. He paced, muttering about influence, corruption. She's always been troubled. I should have cut ties years ago. He called Grace that night, yelling into the phone. Stay away from my daughter. I overheard her calm responses, but the damage was done. Our secret was out, fractured. Grace texted. We need space. This is hurting everyone. But space felt like abandonment. I spiraled, questioning everything. Was Dad right? Was this a mistake? Internal monologues plagued me. You've betrayed the one person who's always been there. But then, hiding who you are is the real betrayal. Society's weight pressed in. At work, whispers started when a coworker saw us together. Isn't she old enough to be your mom? The judgment stung, amplifying doubts. Grace faced worse. Her firm, conservative, hinted at personal issues affecting her performance. They're looking for reasons to push me out, she confided in a rare call. All because of who I love. Love. The word slipped out, solidifying what we had. But at what cost? We met secretly in a motel outside town, desperate for connection. This can't go on, she said, holding me. Your dad will never accept it. I argued. Give him time. But time revealed more cracks. Dad sought counseling from our church pastor, who preached about traditional values. He dragged me along, where the pastor eyed me pityingly. We can pray the confusion away. I sat silently, raging inside. How dare they label love as confusion? Grace's past resurfaced painfully. Her ex-husband called, having heard rumors. You're destroying lives again, he accused. She broke down, telling me. I thought I'd escape this. Her vulnerability drew me closer, but also highlighted the stakes. We were fighting not just family but ingrained prejudices. A turning point came at a family gathering. Dad's sister, Aunt Linda, visited, sensing the tension. What's going on? She pried. Dad exploded, outing us to the room. Gasps followed. Gracie's involved with Grace, yes, that Grace. Aunt Linda's face twisted in disgust. That's unnatural. Think of the children. Wait, no kids, but still. The room divided, some sympathetic, others condemning. I fled, tears streaming. In my car, I drove to Grace's, pounding on her door. They know everything. She held me as I sobbed. We'll face it together. But together meant sacrifices. Grace considered resigning, moving away. To protect you. I refused. No more running. Internally, I weighed options. Cut ties with Dad. or suppress my feelings. Neither felt right. Dad's calls went unanswered. His voicemails pleaded, then threatened. If you choose her, don't come back. The mouth-wan Dowduk peaked. Was love worth fracturing family? Grace echoed my thoughts. Sometimes choosing yourself is the hardest right thing. We decided to confront Dad together. At his house, the air was thick with tension. Tom, please understand, Grace began. He glared. You manipulated her. Accusations flew, betrayal, selfishness. I interjected. This is who I am, Dad. Accept it or lose me. His face crumpled. I can't watch you ruin your life. The standoff ended in stalemate. We left, hearts heavy. That night, Grace and I talked futures. What if we built something new? But doubts lingered. Society's gaze followed. Stares in public, lost friends. The price was steep, but so was the reward. Authenticity. Yet awakening brought more pain. Dad fell ill from stress, hospitalized briefly. Guilt consumed me. This is my fault, I thought. Grace reassured. He's choosing anger over love. But was she right? Recovery for Dad was slow, but it forced reflection. From his hospital bed, he called. Come see me alone. I went bracing for war. Instead, he looked frail, defeated. I don't understand, Gracie. But I love you. Tears flowed. I love you too, Dad. But Grace. She's part of me now. He sighed. Give me time. It wasn't acceptance but a crack in the wall. Internally, hope flickered. Maybe change is possible. Grace waited outside, anxious. How'd it go? I shared and we embraced, relieved. But challenges persisted. Her job pressured her. Whispers of inappropriate relationships circulated. She fought back, filing complaints, but the toll was evident. Sleepless nights, weight loss. Is this worth it? She'd murmur. I affirmed. You are. Social ripples extended. Old friends distanced, labeling us controversial. New ones emerged from LGBTQ+ groups Grace introduced me to. Stories of similar struggles validated us, but also highlighted ongoing battles. One night at a support meeting, a woman shared losing her family entirely. The pain fades but freedom endures. Her words resonated, stealing my resolve. Yet, betrayal struck from unexpected quarters. Aunt Linda, meddling, contacted Grace's ex, stirring old wounds. He showed up at her office demanding closure. You left me for this? The confrontation escalated. Security intervened. Grace called me shaken. He knows about us. Fear gripped. What if he went public? We hunkered down but paranoia grew. We can't live like this, I thought. A pivotal decision loomed. Grace suggested relocating to San Francisco, more accepting. Start fresh. But leaving Dad? Unthinkable. Internally I battled. Sacrifice home for happiness? Dad's health improved, but our talks were strained. I miss the old you, he'd say. This is the real me, I'd counter. Tensions culminated in a family intervention. Relatives gathered, pastor included, urging me to choose right. Accusations flew. Immoral, selfish. Grace wasn't invited, but I defended her fiercely. Love isn't wrong. Dad remained silent, conflicted. The meeting ended in chaos, me storming out. In my car, sobs racked me. Why must love cost so much? Grace comforted me that night. We've awakened to truth, but others lag. Her strength inspired, but exhaustion set in. We took a break, not from each other but from the fight. Quiet weekend away, just us. No drama, just connection. It rekindled hope. We'll endure, she vowed. Back home, awakening spread. Dad read books I left on acceptance. Slowly, he questioned his beliefs. Maybe I was wrong, he admitted once. Progress, albeit glacial. But mouth-wan remained. Grace faced a promotion denial, subtly due to personal distractions. She considered suing, but the energy. For what? Proving a point. I encouraged. For us. She filed, igniting media buzz. Local news covered. Lesbian lawyer fights discrimination. Support poured in, but so did hate mail. The exposure terrified yet empowered. Internally, I reflected on choices, right or wrong. Each step forward demanded payment. Relationships strained, careers jeopardized. But denial's cost was higher. A hollow life. As high tide approached, Dad invited us both over. Nervous we went. Over coffee he spoke haltingly. I don't fully get it, but I see you're happy. That's what matters. Tears flowed. Not full acceptance, but a start. Grace squeezed my hand. Thank you, Tom. Healing began, but scars lingered. Society's judgment persisted, but we stood firm. With Dad's tentative olive branch, life stabilized somewhat. Grace's lawsuit gained traction, drawing allies. We navigated public scrutiny, holding hands defiantly at events. But internal conflicts didn't vanish. I questioned, did we push too hard? Grace wondered if reconnecting with her past self was selfish. One evening over wine she revealed more. Elena contacted me recently. Saw the news. Jealousy flared briefly. What did she want? Grace smiled sadly. Closure. She's happy now, married. It humanized her past, reminding me love's complexities. Dad's evolution continued. He attended a PFLG meeting with me, awkward but willing. For you, he said. Moments like that mended fissures. Yet backlash came. Aunt Linda disowned us, virtually cutting ties. Her loss, Dad shrugged, surprising me. Our relationship deepened amid trials. We moved in together. A cozy apartment symbolizing commitment. No rings, no rush, just us. But society intruded. Neighbors' stares, subtle exclusions. Grace lost a client over values mismatch. Keep fighting? She asked wearily. Always, I replied. Awakening extended outward. I volunteered at youth centers, sharing my story to help others. Your choices matter, I'd say, echoing Grace's wisdom. But each tale of rejection reminded me of potential costs. A final confrontation arose when Grace's ex sued for emotional distress, claiming our relationship reopened wounds. The case was frivolous but draining. Court days were grueling, testimonies raw. Dad testified for us. Grace's family. Gracie's happy, that's enough. His words moved the judge. Case dismissed. Victory tasted bittersweet. Exhaustion hit. We questioned endurance. Was it all worth it? Grace pondered. Internally I affirmed yes for authenticity. As dust settled, life normalized. Dad hosted dinners, awkward at first, then warm. Grace and I built a future, plans for travel, maybe adoption someday. But reflections lingered. The pain, the growth. In quiet moments I pondered the journey. From that initial stare to this fragile peace. Choices made, prices paid. But one question haunts. Was defying family and society the ultimate right? Or did love blind us to greater harms? Was Gracie right to pursue her truth at the cost of family bonds? Or should she have prioritized harmony over personal happiness?